ZIMSEC Pure Maths Paper 1 Course Lesson 9.0 Secular Measure. Nasi toda kuita Pure Mathematics, toda kutanga netopic inonzi Secular Measure. Chatiri kuda kutanga kutarisa patopic iyi, toda kudiscuss about the circle. Tisati tadiscussa further about the circle, toda kutaura pamusoro pe the color coding of this lesson. Saka ma-subtopics edu nematopics edu achange akanyorwa in this color which is, I think it's yellow. Then ma-notes edu tichamanyora in white. Kana tichida kuelaborata kana kuti kuwedzeredza, maybe kuexplain kudemonstrate kuillustrate, pama-notes edu we are going to use any other color. Saka if you are following through this lesson and you are taking note kana kuti uri kunyora ma-notes, you should take particular attention pazvinenge zvakanyorwa in white, because that is what I think should be taken down as notes. Then you use your own discretion kuti uri kuda here kuita take note of zvinenge zvakanyorwa in other colors anenge ari ma-illustrations and demonstrations ema-notes atinge tanyora in white. Saka tiri panapa manje, we need to discuss about the circle. What exactly about the circle are we concerned with? Tiri concerned nema parts a circle. So this is going to be our circle. Then we have a center. Saka indo center e circle redu. Saka tisati tadiscussa ma parts anowanika inside the circle, toda kutaura pamusoro pe this border line. Saka the line which defines the circle, the line which borders the circle, is called the circumference. So this is the circumference. Then tikava neline rinobva pa part of the circumference richipfuura nepasenda richienda ku the other part kana kuti opposite part of the circumference. So this is a straight line riri kubva from this part of the circumference ropfuura nepasenda ronobata another part of the circumference. This line is called the diameter. Okay, if we have a line riri kubva pasenda panapa richinobata any part of the circumference, kubva pasenda richibata any part of the circumference, this line is called the radius. Then lastly, tikava neline rinobva pa a part of the circumference risingapfuuri nepasenda richinobata another part of the circumference, a straight line, take note, rinenge iro richinzi the chord. Saka chandoda kutsanangura panapa ndechekuti, maybe let us write it as notes. Our first point iri kuti the circumference, yatati this is the line which borders cannot defines the circle. The circumference measures the distance right round the circle. What does this mean? Therefore, zvazvinoreva ndezvekuti the circumference is the perimeter of the circle. Remember our definition of the perimeter. We defined the perimeter as the distance right round a shape. So distance right round a shape. Ndiyo our primary level definition of the perimeter. The distance right round the shape. Saka since ta define the circumference as a measure of the distance right round the circle, zvinoreva kuti the circumference and the perimeter are the same thing. Saka question inogona kuuya ichibvunza the circumference of a circle. Question inogona kuuya zvakare ichibvunza the perimeter of the circle. You just have to take note and know that the word circumference and perimeter, they are used interchangeably. Let us elaborate more on the perimeter or circumference of a circle. By definition, the perimeter of a circle is equal to 2 pi r. As 2 pi r inogona kunyorwa yakanzi iyo chi pi d. Saka the perimeter of a circle is equal to 2 pi r or pi d. But since this is a formula, formula yedu toda umanyora takadai so. Toda umaisa in a yellow box kuitira kuti tizomarangarira zvakanaka. Saka we are going to use p for perimeter. So perimeter of a circle is equal to 2 pi r or pi d. D iri kurepresenta the diameter. Saka let us define the diameter and also the radius. Again, RE iri kurepresenta the radius. Then tadaro, we need to authenticate this formula. Kuti perimeter, it's either 2 pi r kana kuti pi d. Why are we saying it's 2 pi r? Why again are we saying it's pi d? So now let us define the diameter. This is going to be our next note. Saka iyi yangova repetition because tambopa the definition of a diameter. Tati isusu, a diameter is a straight line. It's very important to note that this line should be straight. Zvatiri kureva panapa ndezvekuti ngatiti tine two circle panapa ndiri. We have this circle and also this circle. Saka this is the center, this is the center. Panapa tine straight line from this part of the circumference through the center to this part. Then panapa we have a zigzagged line but ichipfuura nepasenda chinobata panapa. Saka line iri rapfuura nepasenda, as you can see here, richibva pa this part of the circumference richinobata again this part of the circumference. This is a diameter, maybe just D diameter, D for diameter, but this is foreign, it's alien. We don't know what the name or term of that line is. Saka a diameter should be, it is a straight line which touches opposite sides of a circle. Saka this side ngatiti it's A and this side is also B. Opposite sides of a circle and passes through the center. So this is a very important part, the center. Kana line rikasapfuura nepasenda, we also have another circle here. This is the center. Tova neline rinobva pa this part of the circumference rokuta center zvishoma shoma ronobata this part of the circumference. This line is not a diameter. That line is actually a chord. Saka we have defined a diameter. Let us now define a radius. Defining the radius, trikuti, this is a line from the center. Again, the word center is very important, of a circle to any point on the circumference. Saka tamboi define yedu, but if we need to illustrate, ngatiti we have a circle, and so it should be a straight line from the center to any point on the circumference. So this is the radius. Tikabva pasenda panapa tichinobata panapa, it's also a radius. Tikabva pasenda zvakare tichinobata apa, it's also a radius. So it's any part of the circumference, but inofanirwa kubva papi? Pasenda. So we have defined the radius and also defined the diameter. Takuda kuziva the relationship which is between the diameter and the radius. To understand this, let us do this. Let us say that we have a circle, and then circle redu, we have a center. And tikabva pa this point, tikapfuura nepasenda tinobata that point, we have what? And we have a diameter. This is a diameter. Asi tikaignore this part of the line, tikangobva pasenda panapa, let me use a different color. Tikabva pasenda panapa, tiuya kuzobata kuno, we have a radius. Mapaona. Then tikaignore futi that diameter, tikabva pasenda panapa, chinobata this part of the line. Tikabva pasenda chinobata this point on the circumference, we also have a radius. Saka relationship iri pakati pe diameter ne radius ndeyekuti iyo the diameter yatoda kurepresenta na d iri equal to 2 radii. Saka radii is the plural of radius. Inonyorwa so, radii. Saka kana maradius awanda kunzi radii. Kana iri 1 inenge chinonzi radius. Saka ndabvisa kapoint panapa kutaura kuti tisazoconfuse na -d. Saka d for diameter is equal to 2r, where r represents radius. D is equal to 2r. How about we want to make r the subject of formula? Zvinenge zvakureva izvo kuti a radius iri equal to d over 2. Saka d iri equal to 2r, kureva kuti diameter iri equal to 2 times radius, or a radius it's simply d over 2, which also means half of d. The radius is half of the diameter. Taita sei kuti tizviwane? Taita panapa tati d it's equal to since d it's equal to 2r, tikada kuti r subject of formula, we divide both sides with 2, kureva equal kuti, therefore r, since mato achekana, chasara tina r is equal to d over 2. Sando zvangoitika panapa pa this point. So the relationship between the diameter and the radius tatoibuditsa kuti inofamba sei. Now let us do this. Tikadzokera kuma formulas edu atambonyora, tanga tamaisa in a block, a yellow block. Tanyora isusu tichiti perimeter p it's equal to 2 pi r or pi d. Saka isusu manje from zvatabva kuita pamusoro panapa pano, we discovered isusu kuti d it's equal to 2r. Zvazvinoreva ndezvekuti kana p iri equal to 2 pi r, tinogona kunyora isusu takati p it's equal to 2r pi. Saka 2 pi r zvinongoreva kuti 2 times pi times r. Saka togona kuita rewrite as 2r pi, of which takuda kusubstituta panani pana 2r na d. Saka inenge ya p is equal to d pi, yatinonyora formally kana kuti usually as pi d. So the formula of the perimeter of a circle can be 2 pi r kana kuti pi diameter. Okay, let us now discuss about the chord. Chord is a line that joins 2 points on the circumference and does not, very important, pass through the center. So if we have a circle, this is the center. Toita a line iri batanidza 2 points on the circumference, but not passing through the center. This line is called a chord. If you come to think about it, you will notice that a diameter is a special type of chord. It's special in that a diameter will pass through the center. Diameter ni chord zvakafanana pakuti in both instances tiri kubatanidza 2 points kana kuti 2 opposite points on the circumference. But for a chord, haidariki through the center, but the diameter inodarika through the center. That's the fundamental difference between these two. Takuda kupinda pa a new subtopic. Takuda discuss about segments and sectors. Saka this subtopic is going to be segment versus sector. Takuda tanga nekutarisa what a segment is. Then the definition of a segment will be, a segment is a region. Saka toda tanga tabatisisa this word region. It is a region then bound by a chord and part of the circumference. What do we mean? We have a circle and this is the center. Remember tati chord ingori line rinobatanidza 2 opposite points of the circumference without passing through the center. Kureva kuti tikabva pa this point, tichinobata pa this point, we have a chord. Saka chatinoti segment is this region which is bound by the chord. Saka this region ndiyo inenge chinzi chi segment. This is the segment, the region which is bound by the chord and part of the circumference. But kana tiri inquisitive, we can also ask kuti, but kana tine this line anditi, then this is the center. I'm trying to reproduce this circle. Then we have this chord, and how about this one? How about this? Haisi segment here ish, because it could satisfy the definition of a segment. This is also a region which is bound by this chord AB. Let us call this chord AB, and part of the circumference. This will be the part of the circumference. So this also is going to be a segment. Saka tikatarisa ma-extremes aya manje tikada kumarelata, tichaona kuti iyi segment iyi inenge ichinzi iyo a minor segment. Minor segment iri kugadzirwa nechord AB. Then tikatarisa this segment yakunzi major segment because iri kugadzirwa again with chord AB. So if you remember circle geometry O level, ordinary level mathematics, you remember the importance of knowing the minor and the major segment, the minor arc and the major arc, because that's Shanda when we were trying to understand the theorems, circle geometry theorems. I explain we're using these terms, cannot using this terminology. But this is not going to be the thrust of our lesson. So let us go on to explain this point. Let us put this point down. Saka point irungu explain zvatabva kutsanangura kuti a chord divides a circle into two segments. Saka ma segments aya tikada kumabatanidza tinenge takuisa our circle here center. Let us say we have this chord. Saka chord E, this is going to be the minor segment, and this is going to be the major segment. The major segment. Those what I've explained just recently. Let us now discuss about a sector. Saka tinotanga tapa a definition of what a sector is. A sector is defined to be a region bound by two radii and part of the circumference. So we have this circle, we have this center. Tati radius iline rikubva pa center richinobata pachi pa circumference. Sangatiti this is our first radius. Then tova futine a second radius. Maona. Saka this region is bound by these two radiuses. It's not radiuses, it's radii. So this region which is bound by the two radii and this part of the circumference, this is called the sector. Saka tikada kuidambura manje tikaisa paside inenge yakadai so. Inenge yakadai yobva radius radius. Then this angle kazhinji kacho tinongoiti theta. Theta, it's a Greek letter, it's part of the Greek alphabet, theta. So let us now look at sectorial analysis. Saka pama segments nema sectors. In secular measure, we are more concerned with sectors. Secular measure inonyanya kutarisa ma sectors, even though ma segments achita sneak in sometimes, but we are more concerned with sectors. So let us now look at sectorial analysis. In sectorial analysis, we need to analyze sectors. Toda kuanalyza ma sectors. Saka we need to look at firstly ngati tarise area of a sector. Then tiri pa area of a sector, toda kuita build upon the knowledge you have from your form 4. Saka we are going to take the knowledge you have from ordinary level and build it up to advanced level. Saka, concerning the area of a sector, we have to recall. What are we going to recall? Toda kuziva isusu kuti what was the area of a sector or the formula of the area of a sector tiri ku O level. Saka tiri panapa manje, let us put a circle panapa. We have a circle. Then tine circle redu, takudaisa our sector. So this is the center. First radius, second radius, theta. Saka tatova nechi ne sector. But theta inoi, tiri ku O level tashandisa ma degrees. Takadzidza isusu kuti a complete revolution kana kuti a complete circle. Complete revolution iri equal to 360 degrees. So zviri kureva panapa, let me put it in a different color. Zviri kureva kuti kubva pa this point uchitenderera about the center 360 degrees. But as you can see, our sector is comprised of an angle theta, which is a fraction, cannot a piece of 360 degrees. Saka pakuda kutsvaga manje the area of a sector, generally tinenge tichiti isusu we are multiplying the piece of the circle, kana kuti piece of circle multiplied by area of circle. Ndozvinenge zvichiitika panapa. Kana tichida kutsvaka the area of a sector, basically tiri kuda the area of a circle, but we are acknowledging the circle redu kasector kapiece keseccle. Saka we are going to multiply the piece of that circle multiplied by the area of the circle. Saka panapa, what is the piece of the circle? The piece is going to be theta and this angle theta over 360 degrees. Ndo piece yacho yatiri kuda. Tiri multiply nechi the area of a circle yatati ichi, it's pi r squared. Saka tiri ku O level, to summarize, taiti isusu area of sector, the area of the sector is equal to the piece of the circle theta over 360 degrees multiplying the area of the circle pi r squared. Ndo macalculatero ataita chi the area of a sector. Ngatingobva tapedza nezveku O level, saka ngatichitaurai pamusoro pe the arc length of a sector. Some of us might have a concern kuda kuziva kuti chii chinombonzi arc. Saka ndambotaura pamusoro pe arc, but let me reiterate. Saka the arc of a circle is chinonzi the arc of a circle. This is a part of the circumference. What do we mean by part of the circumference? Ngatidai so, we have a circle. This is a center. Then we have a chord AB. And this part of the circle, cannot part of the circumference, let me use a different color. This part of the circumference ish inenge chinziyo chi an arc. So this is the arc. Andika. But as you can see with the property of a chord inotipa two different segments. A chord again inotipa two different arcs. Saka zvinenge zvakuitika panapa ndezvekudai so. Our chord AB ichatipa this arc inenge yakunzi the minor arc. Again izvo munozviwana ku circle geometry form 4. This part, which is part of the circumference, remember, inenge yakunzi chi the major arc. That's why ndisina kuisa arrow yangu mukati, because ndikaisa mukati ndenda to refer to the segment. Panapa to refer to the arc. Saka we can actually say kuti the arc is the circumference of a segment, because a segment is just part of the circle. In the same breath, the arc is part of the circumference. Saka we have now defined what the arc is. Let us now consider kuti chii chinombonzi the arc length kana kuti vamwe vanoti the length of the arc. Saka in our previous example taexplaina the arc being that part of the circumference which is made up by a chord. But we should also know that a sector also has arc length, kana kuti a sector also has an arc. So by definition, mathematically speaking, the arc length of a sector is going to be equal to the piece of a circle multiplying the perimeter of the circle. So what do we mean panapa? So maybe ngatange tadefine zviri kuitika panapa. Of course, the piece of the circle is going to be theta over 360 degrees multiplying the perimeter of the circle, tataura kuti it's 2 pi r. Or this can be written as theta over 360 degrees multiplying pi d. 2 pi r and pi d is the same. These are the definitions of the perimeter of a circle. Imwe yacho tikudefine using radius, imwe yacho tikudefine using the diameter. Saka we have a circle, then we have a sector, and it chatadefine isusu tichiti arc, the arc length tiringoda this length. Saka in essence tirikuda the perimeter of a circle, but hatisi kuda perimeter yecircle yese. Saka theta over 360, which is the piece of a circle, iri kushanda pakudefine the specific part or piece of the circle which we need. So this is in essence the definitions of the area of a sector and the arc length of a sector. Takuda uchienda pamongo wesecular measure, panotisiyanisa kana kuti panosiyanisa maequations atanga tichiita with maequations atakuda kudzidza. But tisati taita izvozvo ngatitange define properly zvaitika panapa. Saka panapa chii chaitika, tati arc length of sector. The arc length of a sector is equal to theta over 360 degrees multiplying 2 pi r, or theta over 360 degrees multiplying pi d. Satukisa mabox aya because my formulas anoda kubatwa, they should be on our fingertips. Takuda kuita about radians. Ndaisa asterisk kukuratidzai the importance of step yatakuda kutora. Takuda uchiita the mathematics of circular measure. So we have to define first kuti radian chi. Radians, saka chinonzi radians, this is a unit of measurement for angles. Saka from I think around Form 1 patakatanga kuintroducwa to the mathematics of angles, patakatanga kuudzwa about degrees. Saka degrees are a part, rather degrees are a unit of measurement for angles, and ndoatanga tichishandisa patachiti theta over 360 degrees. Kana taku advanced level, units anowanzokushandiswa for measuring angles anonzi iwo radians. Tine imwe unit zvakare inoshandiswa to measure angles anonzi gradians. Mukatarisa calculator yenyu, you are going to notice kuti paipai patinochinja ku O level tainzi make sure kuti calculator yako iri degrees before waisa angles, handiti. This time tinenge takuchinja calculator yedu from degrees to radians. Next pakanzi rad, which is the shorthand for radians, panenge pakanzi grad. Saka we have degrees, radians and gradians. At this level, pure mathematics A level, we are going to be using radians. Then maybe if you progress with mathematics, sometime, someday, you are going to be introduced to gradians as a measure or a unit of measure for angles. What is important panapa to understand this fact It's important saka taisa in a yellow block. 2 pi rad is equal to 360 degrees. Saka 2 pi in radians, of course, iri equal to 360 degrees. Zvinorevei izvi? Zvinoreva izvo kuti tikati isusu 2 pi tokutoziva again kuti iri in radians iri equal to 360. Kana takuda kuziva isusu kuti ngatinyorei. Saka 2 pi rad iri equal to 360 degrees. Zvoreva izvo kuti pi rad handiti over 2. Saka panapa tina 2 handiti. Toda ta cancel out 2 uyu. It's equals to 360 degrees over 2. This means kuti chi matu akachekana pi rad inenge iri equal to how many degrees? 2 into 360. 2 into 3 it's 1 with the remainder of 1 it becomes 16. 2 into 16 it's 8 into 0 is 0. Saka zvataita panapa maybe ngatidai so toisa rimwe block panapa taona isusu kuti 2 pi rad iri equal to 360 degrees. Pi rad iri equal to how many? 180 degrees. This is the fulcrum of this mathematics. This is very important. All right. Saka we have understood this. Maybe let me reiterate. 2 pi rad is equal to 360 degrees. After manipulation, this means that pi rad is equal to 180 degrees. That's fine. Let us now go over to formulae with radians. Takuda kutsvaga the area of a sector, toda kutsvaga the arc length of a sector, but this time toda kushandisa maradians instead of degrees as a unit of measuring angles. Formulae with radians. Okay. Saka toda kutsvaga isusu kutanga, number 1, area of a sector. So area of a sector. At this level, you can as much forget my formulas ekutsvaga area of a sector kana kuti arc length of a sector tichishandisa degrees. From this level, tangoshandisa radians kupera. Area of a sector, generalized descendants, derive formulas aya nema-equations aya. You don't necessarily have to write it in an examination because remember, time is part of the examination. Saka examination rinotesta your understanding of mathematical principles. Examination again rinotesta how able you are to manage time. Saka we have to avoid beating about the bush, but ndiri kuzvinyora panapa for the sake of learning. So area of a sector, tanga tati isusu we explained it. You can go back a few minutes back. Tatsanangura kuti nema yakaita tichiti area of a sector, it's basically piece of a circle multiplying area of the circle. Okay. Saka panapa manje takuti piece of circle inenge iri theta over, remember kwekwe yanga yakanzi theta over 360 degrees. But isusu manje hatichati theta over 360 degrees. Rather takuti theta over 2 pi rad. Saka tashandisa zvataisa musoro patati isusu 2 pi rad is equal to 360 degrees. Saka tango replace 360 degrees na 2 pi rad. Ndozvatangoita chete. Saka theta over 360 degrees takuinyora iri theta over 2 pi rad. Multiplying area of a circle inongoramba iri pi r squared. Then manje takuda manipulate panapa tikuona kuti pi uno ushu achachekana nani na pi uyu. Kureva kuti tichasarwa tiinani tiina theta over 2. Togona edu kusaramba tichinyora kuti rad because tatoita zvinhu zvese kumarads. Saka theta over 2 multiplying r squared. Kana takuda kuinyora formally ngatiisei mubox because formula yakatikoshera tinenge takuti isusu chi area of sector area of a sector iri equal to half r squared theta. Area of a sector iri equal to half r squared theta. This is a very important formula which should be submitted to memory. It should be on your fingertips. You should not forget it. Kunyangwe yedu taratidza kuti inoderiviwa sei, but muexamination you do not necessarily have time to derive. Saka because you do not have time to derive, you just have to know the formula. Kutokrema. But maths dzakanakira kuti familiarity, ukaramba uchipractice zvinopedzisira zvava second nature. Saka you do not necessarily have to cram everything. So that is the formula. Okay, let us now go to arc length. Saka arc length tadefine isusu tichiti arc length of a sector, ngatingonyora hedu kuti arc length iri equal to piece of circle, and which is actually the sector yacho, multiplying perimeter of circle. Perimeter of circle. Saka panapa teta kuti piece of the circle, instead of theta over 360 degrees, yava theta over 2 pi rad. Multiplying perimeter of a circle inoramba iri 2 pi r. Saka panapa 2 ino iyi yakuchekana na 2 uyu, pi uyu yakuchekana na pi uyu, kureva kuti tichasaura tiina theta times r. Formally inenge ichinyorwa iyo yakaita sei? In a block. Inenge ichinyorwa yakanzi iyo arc length of sector. Arc length of sector is equal to r theta. Saka again, this is something you have to submit to memory. You do not have to derive every time yanoda kutsvaga the arc length of a sector. Ufanga kubva wato derive, unofanga kuisa mumusoro, and it should stay there. This is going to be the end of lesson 9.0. Tichaita lesson 9.1. Ratichaita ma-worked examination questions on circular measure. My questions that Shaita, we are going to do 2 questions. I think both of them are from Cambridge. Then I'm going to give you a homework which has 3 or 4 questions, some of them from ZIMSEC, some of them from Cambridge. You are going to notice that when you have a fair grasp of what we have learned now, lesson 9.1 Pachetama examples is going to be fairly easy. But there's something I want to tell you. Advanced level mathematics dzinosiyana ne-ordinary level mathematics pakuti advanced level mathematics hadzishandise intuition. It's very difficult to know exactly kuti question iri kuenda kupi by just merely looking at it. Saka advanced level mathematics dziri procedural. Maybe let me write it down. Dziri procedural. Hadzishande ne-intuition. Saka you're going to notice that my examples achaita, they are going to appear to be very difficult. But apparently they are not difficult. You can go follow every step, taking note that you follow mathematical principles and you avoid arithmetic errors. You are going to arrive at your answer. Saka, you don't have to be afraid. That is my advice. Just learn to follow procedure. You'll be fine. Don't trust your intuition. Usafunga kuti you can see the answer by just looking at the questions wataita ku O level, but trust the process, the procedure. Saka, we are going to enjoy my examples ari kuuya in our next lesson. Otherwise, kana paine pamusina kunzwisisa, you can always ask me directly or pama comments apa. Then kana ma understand this question. Thank you for watching and take care.